squint, and the new 2010 Mazdaspeed3 looks like a regular practical Mazda 3 wagon. Open your eyes, and racier details become apparent. An agave-themed front grille makes the 3 look like an evil little blue whale. Its hyper-modern blowhole is actually a functional hood scoop that sends fresh air to the intercooler. The rear wing is also functional, helping stabilize the Mazdaspeed3 at high speeds. Low-profile 18-inch wheels, large dual exhaust outlets, and a lowered stance. All the visual cues indicate a car that's much faster than a standard Mazda 3.
And sure enough, it is. Carrying over from the previous generation Mazdaspeed3 is a 2.3-liter direct injection engine that's turbocharged. The turbocharger means big power, 263 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. It also means big lag. Well, moderate lag. Look, floored, whoosh! The downside is waiting that brief moment for the power to kick in. Upside, when it kicks hard. One of the issues with the Mazdaspeed3 is that it sends its massive power to the ground via just the front tires, so torque steer is an issue. According to the folks at Mazda, they're aware it has that tendency, but they're okay with it, which should make you feel fine as the steering wheel gently tugs you towards oncoming traffic or to the right off that cliff. Torque steer wouldn't have been an issue if Mazda had made the Mazdaspeed3 all-wheel drive. Then they could have added even more horsepower. A 300 horsepower all-wheel drive Mazdaspeed3 would have been pretty awesome. But then it would have been much more expensive. And if we all remember back to what happened to the RX-7 and the Supra and the 300Z back in the 90s, Mazda doesn't want to price this thing out of the market. So they've banished my beloved rally-inspired all-wheel drive 300 plus horsepower Mazdaspeed3 to the land of make-believe. Mazda has a knack for making cars that are agile and have tight steering. The Mazdaspeed3 has that same quality and then some. Slight inputs, immediate results. Forget about the horsepower numbers, and the Mazdaspeed3 is still a really fun car to drive. But that agility comes at a price. Firmer springs, firmer dampers, the ride is noticeably firmer.
Some other quick points to note about the Mazdaspeed3. It only comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, and the throws are actually a little long by Mazda standards. A torque-sensing limited slip differential means that both the front tires will be spinning instead of just one. The standard sports seats do a great job keeping you in place even on a racetrack like Laguna Seca. The Mazdaspeed3 comes pretty much loaded. The only option is a $1,900 tech package that adds keyless entry and start, a Bose audio system, and a navigation system with a tiny little screen. The red interior theme looks a little goofy to our eyes, but you might feel differently. It'll do 155 miles per hour and gets 25 miles per gallon on the freeway, but not at the same time. The Mazdaspeed3 costs around $24,000. So what else could you buy? Well, its key competitor, the Dodge Caliber SRT4, was discontinued, so scratch that. You might consider the Subaru WRX wagon, which is similarly powerful and includes all-wheel drive, but costs $2,000 more than the Mazdaspeed3. There's also the less expensive Honda Civic Si and similarly priced Volkswagen GTI, but the Mazda offers about 60 more horsepower than either of them.
In conclusion, if your idea of the perfect compact performance car involves carbon-look wings and unpainted body kits, then you're going to hate the Mazdaspeed3. If, on the other hand, you want tuner car-like performance, but you also appreciate an OEM level of sophistication, a factory warranty, maybe even body panels that fit and are the right color, then the Mazdaspeed3 might make a really good replacement from your slammed Honda Civic with the Type X seatbelt pads. For more automotive news, please visit the latest news section of KBB.com.